Okay, big fella. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, nice to meet you, mate.
Nice
How are you?
Old and cranky.
How old are you? Don't mind me asking.
How old am I?
Yeah.
65.
Oh, blimey.
Huh?
Blimey, that's going on.
It is.
This is Fred Beck from Fred Beck's Fighting, proudly sponsored by Empire Fights. Joined by Gerry Cooney today. Gerry, it's nice to see you. How are you?
It's always great to be here. I love London. I love the people. I love Scott Murray, who's brought me back the second time to go around and to promote boxing and to bring great fighters. Like he had Boom Boom Mancini, he had Lennox Lewis, he has Larry Holmes and Gerry Cooney today, among many others. And the fans get to really get up close and personal, and I love that.
Can you remember the last time you were in London? Was there a while ago?
I was here 3 years ago.
Okay, not that long.
Scott Murray, no, not that long. And we also went to Ireland.
In Dublin.
Dublin.
Do you like Dublin?
I love Dublin.
I've never been.
Well, I'm Irish.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, I had a great time.
Sounds pretty nice.
Listen, I'm English too. I don't care. I love it here too.
Sounds pretty nice then.
People are great anywhere.
You got to meet the right people, I guess. People can be good some places, people can be bad others.
You know, I found that years ago. I used to attract the not the greatest people. And as you get a little bit old and you learn a little bit more, you don't want nothing to do with that. So you attract better people. And that's the story. I kept attracting this pretty girl. She looked pretty. She dressed nice. When the dust settled, she was crazy. I had to stop doing
Now,
that.
how long did it take for the dust to settle?
Oh, well, sometimes quick, sometimes long.
Alright, sounds pretty good then. So let's just talking about your fight with Larry Holmes, 41
Who? I'm just kidding.
41 years ago.
Wow.
Does it seem like yesterday?
It does seem like it's not 41 years ago, but, you know, it does help that he and I are great friends. And we had a good time, and I don't care. I lost to Larry Holmes. I got stopped in the 13th round, but it was one of the most memorable fights to me in my life for so many years, for so many things. Not just going that distance, going 14, 13 rounds with him, but from my state of mind and the ability that I had at the time, and I was only capable of being so good, and I took it into the late rounds, and it's remembered. Yeah, we're here in London today because of it. 41 years ago, and I fought one of the greatest champions of the world, and made it through 13 rounds. So it's a great experience.
What do you make of heavyweight fights today, or any boxing fights today, being 12 rounds? Do you think they should have stuck at 15 rounds?
I think you know, after 12 rounds with Holmes, I was ahead. What do you think I think about it? No, I think that I like it because the guys can fight at a faster pace, and it's not those 3 extra rounds are killing rounds. And I also want to say that why I say that is because women fight and they're 2-minute rounds. They fight 10 2-minute rounds, and there's a lot of talk going around. They should be fighting 3-minute rounds, but they can't compete. They're doing great at 2-minute rounds. It's a fast-paced
It's more
fight.
exciting, isn't it, at 2 minutes?
Well, you know, I saw Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor a couple weeks ago. It was one of the best fights I've seen. It reminded me of Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali. That's how good it was. Had it been 3 minutes, it could have been a whole different story. So I think from right now, 12 rounds is great. Guys were getting hurt between the 13th and the 15th round, so they cut it down. I mean, obviously the advertisers wish they had more time, but it's great for the fighters.
Yes.
And for the fans, because the fans see a faster paced fight.
Yeah, it certainly is. Obviously, the fans are very excited. And do you still keep up? I guess you do still keep up with boxing today,
yeah,
because lots of boxers don't. They just, once they finish their careers, they kind of drift off in the sunset.
They feel bitter
and don't.
about the game.
Is that the reason why?
And they disappear. Yeah, and that's a sad story.
And you don't feel better yourself?
No, you know what? When I got out of the game, I was assigned that I wanted to make a foundation to help fighters find a way back to life. And so I was busy with that for a few years, and that occupied my time and helped me to grow. And so for me, I understood about the game at that point, and I was asked to come do an interview, and I got on Sirius XM, and I loved every second of it. And I got to follow the game, the kids today, hear the stories, get them on the radio, talk about the fight game, and see how it's ever changing. And the fighters are getting better and better, and you know, I get to talk to all the great guys. I've talked to Fury, Dillian White, all those guys, the lightweights, the featherweights.
Who's your favourite right now? Who are the boxers you like right now then?
Well, I mean,
you can't really pick a favourite, but
I like
who ones you like?
Bivol. I like Beterbiev in the light heavyweight division. I like Joe Smith. I like the heavyweights. Jared Anderson's an American, good, tough guy. You got obviously. I love Joe. I love Joe Joyce. I love Daniel Dubois. I got. There's a lot of guys in the division. There's a couple of Cuban guys that are good fighters, a lot of experience. They're smaller heavyweights, but they still can fight. Look at Usyk. Usyk is a great fighter. As a cruiserweight, moved up, beat Joshua. Now I think that was a silly thing for him to be able to beat Joshua. Joshua had to fight different. Joshua had to come in and back Usyk up, keep him off balance, take him off his comfort zone. He didn't do it, and because he didn't do it, he lost the title. And hopefully he'll get a chance to get it back. And then we'll see the fight that we really want to see, and that would be Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
But do you think Joshua beats Usyk the second time around?
I think if he fights him, if he tries to follow him around the ring and try and be, Usyk is a faster fighter. He's a great boxer. He needs to back up Usyk. He needs to bang him in the body, push him against the ropes, make him fight off the ropes. He can beat him. You saw him do it against Andy Ruiz the second time. He can do it here. He's a great champion. And he's got to have to change the trainer camp, get a different trainer.
He has changed
to teach him how to fight. Get on him. Build up your stamina. Get on him when the bell rings. Stay on him. Make him tired. If you take Usyk out of his comfort zone, he's going to get tired. If he gets tired, then you take over. Then you see the change in his face.
Do you see any weaknesses in Usyk?
Well, no, he's a great fighter. He's a great boxing technician, but he doesn't do good backing up. He likes to keep the guy off balance, be comfort in his zone. You can't fight that way. When you're fighting for the championship, you got to make him uncomfortable, push him back, take that real estate away from him. And that's how it's got to be done for him. If he can do that, he's talked about it. I got to see if he can do it. Can he make that stamina last for 12 rounds if need be? I want to see him win that title back from Usyk.
I think most people from Britain do, and then eventually, say if Tyson Fury doesn't retire, and then he fights Anthony Joshua.
Tyson Fury comes out of retirement. If Joshua beats Usyk, Tyson Fury comes out of retirement.
And who wins that?
I think, to be honest with you, I think Tyson Fury wins. Now he's not the guy that you say, well, look at Larry Holmes, the shape of him, look at his muscles and all that stuff. Tyson Fury's not that. Tyson Fury's big. He's got a different shape. There's been some guys like Tony Tubbs and some other fighters that were great fighters that didn't have that shape, but he gets away with it.
Why do you think he gets away with it?
Because he's so talented.
It's natural talent.
Every time you set on him, you get ready to go, Tyson Fury feints you. Every time you get set, you get ready to go, he feints you. You have to reset, and he wins the round.
How would say you were to fight Tyson Fury back in the day?
Body,
a fantasy match. You got an
body. You got to get away from that jab and get inside and bang the body, break the ribs.
Is that what would your game plan be in the body?
I saw Stevie Cunningham drop Tyson Fury in the Garden. He was a light heavyweight, not known to be a puncher out of Philly. He dropped Tyson Fury. Fury got up and stopped him. But, I mean, if he can do it, you got to figure, you work the rib, you touch that rib, That's Larry. He'll tell you about them ribs. You touch that rib, you touch the rib, then you turn it over.
Larry's just chilling there. And just one last question. What advice would you give to any boxers up and coming today?
Defense first.
Really?
Condition. Find the trainer teaching you defense. Anybody can learn offense.
Do you believe it's not taught as much nowadays?
Yeah,
defense?
I do. I think it's toward Eddie Futches, who's that great trainer out of Philly? Larry. Who? Yeah, so many great trainers that moved on, and so boxing got watered down, and then professional boxing became amateur boxing, where they weren't working the body; it was all headhunting, and now it's coming back to full circle. So we're going to see some great fights. Listen, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Beterbiev, Joe Smith, Beterbiev, Bivol. You got Jared Anderson in the heavyweight division. You got lightweights. So many guys that you can't believe fighting. Regis Prograis is a great 40-pounder. You got so many great guys. A lot of Irish guys from Europe here that can fight. We want to see those fights. They're gonna happen.
That's what makes boxing good. Well, Gerry, thanks for the time, mate. That's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, good, bro. You're a bad man, bro.